trash kids when they saw this increase. Sorry, gotta go. Double G, double P. Sorry. Fortnite, Fortnite, let's go. I get it all night for sure. I'm on a Fortnite, Fortnite, let's go. I get it.
The game 3 is underway. Baller, I cut you off for just a second there, but this is because it's all you from here, buddy. Stress and Baller, round number 3 underway. Take it away.
So here we go, dropping into round number 3. Everybody's thanked the driver, and we are riding on with Liquid Poach, dropping in for game 3 of the ESL Katowice Royale. He's heading for that east side of the volcano for now.
He's really opening it up here for him to find Issa, and he's out of mats now, so there's 9 builds left for Aspect, and he's kind of gotten back into his fight. He's clawed his way back in here, Stress.
Clawed his way back in, but he still needs to be able to find the angle. Aspect trying to bandage up around the corner. Oh, Issa looks for the shot, doesn't quite get it, as Aspect does end up falling in the end. A long fight around this house, but Issa comes out alive.
Trying to get in the box as many as possible. He's going to try to take that roof piece. A little bit of time for Nikov to breathe here. We'll see how many materials he has. I did see a few E-limps. So he should have a few, but there's the edit. Almost gets it. Oh, he gets down the box!
In with the shotgun, and that is Svenos taking out Airwax in the kill feed. It was Nikov, ended up getting it. A lot of pressure put onto Nikov from the side.
Crazy Llama, the Japanese player we saw stalking somebody else in retail row earlier, and he's coming in with the grenade launcher, gets 1 tag, 100 damage onto Nikov. He's going to be able to heal up with the minis though, but still, Crazy Llama. Here he comes.
Yeah, trying to get through that top floor, tries to get the edit, doesn't quite get it in the way he wants to. Trying to find any different position for this fight, and you can see the vultures circling on the top side of the minimap just before we swapped to this wide angle on the fight. Crazy Llama is in such a good position health-wise.
I think that was his last grenade. There's no more materials here for Nikov.
Window comes out, and look, Crazy Llama trying to readjust with these ramp pieces, but he's taking shots from behind as well. Crazy Llama switches around and ends up losing the engage to Nikov.
Nikov is on a tear here in retail row. That's 2 in a row we saw, and I think he already had an alien before that, but hopefully he picks up some materials there from Crazy Llama.
Tixi now taking on Poverty. Poverty, a player in the Polish portion of the tournament that didn't really live up to a lot of the expectations that people had put on him, ended really quite low down, especially if I remember rightly on the solos portion, but in Tixi trying to just get any kind of sight he can, but there's a third party, as that was Zeke taking out Tixi from the side.
And there was nothing really to turtle up on, because there's so many cracks in the wall, but here's a replay here. Bowman onto Kinzel, just opening that window. I think he was stuck in the football net, as you would say there.
Yeah, stuck in the net, but got a lot more than just net at that point. As Nikov, we saw some of his engagements to start off. This was the drop in that Nikov ended up picking up that elimination from, as a second challenger approached for the rest of that package. And this is this moment of the game where everybody's trying to get into this zone. There's a lot of distance to cover. And as we said, mobility highly reduced. So this is a kind of moment where you look at the players like Maxcalibur, there's not a whole lot of fighting actually going on within this building.
Yeah, and actually Demo, speaking of not a lot of fighting, he's where he drops. This is where he stayed, and he just stayed the entire time. You can see him boxing up in the metal. That's what you're going to be able to get from Divot, or at least the diner or the factory as it's called as well. Trying to drop down Fa here, one of the Brazilian players.
Yeah, trying to just pyramid his way to safety and stay alive inside the building from here. You can see Zexro on the top of your screen. Had a good performance in the last game. Actually placed second, lost out to Keenstar in that 1v1 for the Victory Royale. And Keenstar is currently top of the standing, so that's how important that 1v1 can be, plus those eliminations from the game. But certainly Zexro having a good performance.
Indeed. There you can hear another Rift to Go going off. Everybody's vying for positioning now. There's 70 players still remaining. They're all kind of boxing up and deciding, hey, how do I want to approach this endgame? Actually taking a shot.
That's ambitious.
Yeah, just a little bit ambitious. He doesn't hit anything there, just the top of the pyramid.
Testing the wind at this point.
Imagine if you could just curve your bullets like that. We'd have some crazy plays with that.
I'm kind of glad you can't, I'll be honest. There's enough craziness that goes on, and we definitely see that towards the end game. But build up as Selzma kind of doesn't quite find the build to start, but has found that position on the side of the cliff.
Yeah, one of the things, though, that zone just ended up closing, so the new zone isn't going to be where... Oh, no, the launch pad, unfortunately, you didn't think about and look up. That's one of the things always...
Everyone's done this.
Yeah, everyone has. You don't really think about it when you're kind of under in the open of Dusty Divot.
Is he setting a trap for somebody else to use the launch pad and then hit the roof, bounce back, and try and pick up an elimination?
It's possible. There's 72 hours. You can actually see him in the outside the zone. He just used one of those vents. He's going to rotate in the zone. And Lil J onto Kaiser and Jamside. Jamside is doing really well in the standings as well.
Yeah, doing very well. We saw Little J make it to one of the later storms in the first 2 games. But one of the Chinese players represented here at the ESL Katowice Royale.
I think he needs to take a page here out of 72 Hours' book and go into that zone. It's still only 2 tick. Go into that zone, grab the vent, and rotate in because he doesn't want to use those launch pad. That mobility is such a good resource.
Yeah, especially for later in the game, right? When you start getting those moving zones come through. There's Cripper. We saw losing out to Myth in game number 1, but has made his way pretty deep in this 3rd game of the day. History, one of the Brazilian players represented here.
Crippa, one of the strongest players that impressed me from Winter Royale. He has been on a tear as well. So he's one of the, like Shinken and Boyer and his duo, doing with Boyer. He's been doing so well in pop-up, kept so well in scrims. Everybody's excited to see what they can show for us here. But actually, Zizma's in a box there with History. He's got to be careful. History's going to back out.
Yeah, Zizma trying it.
There, he's got the wall.
And he has got the window, but it
And he's got the cone,
reset. He's trying to reset it just to try and get that angle on the fight. Oh, the block. Who actually has this? Is it still History has the edit on this, but is forced back behind the ramp because every time he switches, there's another shot.
Yeah, this is exactly what we actually do within the pro scene to practice box fights. They literally just get in a box next to each other. But now, finally, I think that's Demo up top says, "Hey guys, you guys, I want to join in the fun too." So he puts an end to that. And they're gonna relax a little bit. You see History holding the stairs there because he can see through and see what Zizma is going to do.
They're going to have to move, though, as this storm...
And that's a huge problem for Zizma because he wasted that launch pad. So now he has nothing. All he has to do is break through the roof of that, but that's going to take forever, so he's going to be on foot.
Big European name at the bottom left of your screen, Camo. Did set a world record for solo versus squads, one of the things that people like to track.
Yeah.
A great player in his own mind. I'm excited to see him playing up against some of the world's best as well as History. He's gatekeeping this storm. Doesn't quite connect with the first one, but that is a lot of shots that connect in the end. Is trying to hunt down this elimination for himself, and he does.
Teammate on teammate again. And that's interesting there. Brazilian players. He's going to actually have a redeploy, so he's going to catch up to the zone.
Ooh, grenades raining down onto Svenos.
Yeah, that's Lil J again. Really harassing with that grenade launcher. A lot of players would kind of opt to save that ammo for a little bit later because we're only going to the 4th zone here.
Some big European names in this area. Svenos, Skype, Vivid is over to the left side of your screen. There's 72 Hours from America over there as well.
And
so
Animal as well. So
there's someone big from everywhere.
It's so stacked. Literally everywhere I look, I see a player that I need to point out. And now, going into that 4th zone, we got 50 seconds till it moves. Lolito actually maybe looking to get a little bit of aggressive onto Svenos. For now, it's going to be calm. They don't have too far to go for this zone, so it's not probably going to go to an engagement unless they decide, hey, I actually need some elims. Ooh! Lolito maybe had the idea to go into zone to get Svenos there, but no.
Yeah, didn't end up committing to it, although Lolito did end up falling. Was that to Skype? It looked like that was the engage there.
Yeah, Skype's rushing over there. I think he might have some loot there, so he could have gotten him. So that's nice for Skype. He's one of our top players. He dropped to 6th place in the last game, but he's playing so consistently. And that's what you need to do in this tournament. So, again, 4th zone closing. Everybody's making their way in. There's still a lot of players outside of zone. And
with such a stacked field, you look at the fact that Sky doing well has been a winner in the past. Bizzle doing well, he's won as well.
Yeah.
As Sky, we are watching on with him.
What a nice there by Sky. He actually edges his way in zone, so that's going to close, and he's going to stay in it. And he used that medal that he picked up from that player on the side there.
Poverty trying to follow Rizard up the mountain. If you can get any kind of sight, that's one shot for that elimination. Saf is up here as well. Saf is going to try and get that easy elimination off the side.
Got to be careful, though.
Poverty's here as well.
Saf just jumped off his high ground. That might be, well, the zone is still moving, so that makes sense. He's actually going to leave from Rizard.
Yeah, hopefully, in his mind, if Rizard ends up going in front of him, that'll be an easy pick-off. But Saf... Ooh.
He knows.
Yeah, Saf knows. He's putting it up behind him to make sure he's covered.
Great awareness there. Saf definitely trying to get one of those big performances because he definitely didn't have enough points to go into the next game. I think he had 0. There's Kinstar.
Yeah, that's our points leader. Yeah. Still alive in this game. Still safe, trying to get points.
Man, that's consistency. Look at Skype. Look at Kinstar. Look at all these big players.
72 hours. They're going to have to move soon. Everybody's got to go when this zone changes.
Half in, half out zone coming right now. There it is.
Seen the storm surge warning as well.
Bottom right of Loot Lake here. Everybody's a little bit nervous when it comes to loot late, but I think people are very comfortable now as we get the mats on Elim. It's harder to move there.
Harder to move, and we'll see who ends up being the first to move. Saf did just get an elimination for himself.
Yeah, one point I want to talk about this zone is it's going to go over towards that little bit of slight incline, so people might decide to go a little bit late here if they have launch pads. Nate Hill as well, onto Demo, onto Saf. Everybody's trying to hold these players out of zone, try to get as many tags as they can.
So difficult once those miniguns spin up the direction to hear where everything's coming from. There's just so much obstruction on that noise coming through. Now we're on with Mitro. Mitro, no eliminations, but has an RPG. We'll see whether Mitro can find an angle, trying to just get away through.
Sneaking his way, trying to get that rocket launcher into there while everybody's shooting. But here's the rush towards the zone. Everybody's going to decide, hey, I want to use all the mobility that I can from others. You see Nate fighting Demo on the side as well. He just took him out, I believe. Keenstar
manages just to jump onto that launch pad as Nate doesn't quite manage to get there in time. Nikov running and tracking through the bottom of this. Now everybody lands on one.
So this is what I was talking about. Zeke landing towards that hill here. Imagine also doing the same thing. A lot of players deciding to land inside over towards that hill, because if it does go that way, you're just going to be able to build up so easily. Here, Animal on high ground. He's taking shots at players flying in.
He's just trying to get anything. Hit some shields, gets anything he can. Importantly, I believe Jesse from the X2 Twins was still alive, and Jordan I just saw as well. So this time they are lasting a little bit later. We're into the points now on placements. There's 42 players remain. We crossed that 50-player barrier. That now means everybody will at least have scored points.
Jam side taking out Boyer in the Elim feed there. Nice. And we'll see Jam side, one of our top players as well. There's so many of these consistent players up still. Shinken, Vinny, Zate, Jesse, Australia showing up strong in this game.
You said Vinny, he's a player that recently having a surge, and in this tournament so far has performed very well as well. So we saw him just last week, or just this week, signing to TSM. So it's just such a big, massive names right now in this final set of zones.
Skyte's still up as well there. You can see him taking some shots. And there, all the clinger spam, everybody's just trying to get any shots they can on people. They never know how low players are going to be, so it's always valuable to take shots. Obviously, you're opening yourself up to a little bit of a risk when you do it, and it is going to go north into zone, but hold on.
Jordan just picked off Camo in that action feed. Vivid trying to track across the top of this one, and here they go. As the storm moves, so does everybody with it, and this is where so many eliminations start happening, and they are so key. As Animal picks up one for himself, Zeke is able to get away from that tricky situation, stuck on 3 eliminations for himself, and now we're in tight corners.
Animal, one of the best endgame players at this pathing, exactly what you see him doing right now, but Razaru again on high ground, he's taking it, and I think he has it. So, Mitro up, Vinny up.
Jules trying to track up. Let's see that he doesn't go too high and die to fall damage like he did in game number 2. Poverty trying to track up as well against Razaru. Poverty actually has stolen the high ground away, but on the low ground is where most of the action is. Jesse trying to make his way. Hupek on such low health, and we can see Funk Bomb right at the bottom. Poverty drops down, takes a massive shotgun shell from Razaru. Poverty's going to drop. That's it. Poverty's out from that high engage, and Razaru is the only player stuck at the top of the screen.
This was the issue last time for Razaru. He had high ground, but he got it stolen from him, and this time he didn't. He keeps to hold it.
26 builds left, so he has enough to stay in the zone for now, but he's going to need some of them from further eliminations. 0 eliminations in this game, and opting mainly for placement points as we continue. 15 builds as he puts a new ceiling on the house.
72 Hours just got 2 Elims in the zone. He's so close. I think he just got another one down on low ground as well.
He's in the storm, though, ends up falling to it as Mitro tries to get the high ground. Massive damage comes through as Mitro checks above him just to make sure there's no rifts. Nobody circling the skies.
Yeah, 7 players left. Mitro on high ground. This is exactly where he sells. He has the RPG, but he's no ammo. So we'll see what he's able to do from high ground. Animal's still up as well. Nikov. So many big names in this endgame. Here's Animal. He goes down to Vato.
Vato, really big pickoff from the low ground there.
Oh, actually, somebody took high ground. Who is that? Mitro? No, it's still Mitro. I forgot about him up on high. How could I forget about Mitro? 6 players left.
That's when you end up eliminated by Mitro. It's when you forget about him and he's in a building with a trap. But at this point, Mitro still has that high ground. Jules is up there with him. If Mitro can win this exchange, that puts him in such a good position. But low ammo, 9 shells left.
All he has is shotgun shells and builds. That's all he can do. But it's actually going to go over old builds, so he's going to be able to drop out pretty safely and conserve a lot of materials. But that rift is up in the sky. We got to see. Okay, nobody's diving on him. That's a sigh of relief for him.
sigh of relief, but it also means he's got to have to build back down. Majin has had a great game so far. I've seen his name constantly in the action feed. Those eliminations have been
Stuck
ticking
in
up.
zone though, that's gonna be it for him. He goes down the zone. 5 players left. Okay, now 3. 2 elims at the same time.
That's how quick this goes in these late games. When you just get any kind of sight on an opponent, you can get that pick-off, get that elimination. And
all these old builds, so important for Mitro. He's low on materials. He's just using these. It's going all over, but now it's going to be the end. And you can see Jules trapping down. If Mitro dropped on him, that would have been really nice.
Just hiding a trap anywhere at this point if you can end up dropping them through.
This is an issue here for Mitro. He does not have the materials to fight Jules here. He needs to possibly keep away. Fat Toe has the advantage, I think, going all the way down to low ground, but Jules actually dropping down. He decides, yes, I want to do this. So Mitro actually back in the advantage.
Ooh, Mitro going to have to build his way down the stairs as Vato does end up losing to Jules. It's a 1 versus 1. Mitro is nearly on the low ground, but now the shotgun maybe comes into effect. He really only needs 1 shot to connect to pick up this game for himself, and with the high ground, he's just trying to find any kind of position that he can.
It's only a green, though, and that shot was so close from Jules. 80 there.
Oh, Jules takes it. Jules steals away the game from Mitro with 6 eliminations to his name and the victory royale.
That is such a strong performance. One of the, I think it was mostly EU only in that end game there. And Jules, he was in the end game in the second game, and then he fell to fall damage. But no, this time he decides, hey, I want to go down. I remember last game, and
he flies up the standings.